Fiat Tipo review. Delving into its recent past has become something of a habit for Fiat. Since the original late 1980s Tipo family hatch, we've had two generations of Bravo separated by the forgettable Stilo. Name recognition is handy in the overcrowded C segment, and there isn't a car company in existence that isn't preoccupied with its past. Still, coming after the expansion of the extended 500 family and the return of the 124 Spider, this doubling back does make it feel like the Italian giant is less nodding at its past than milking it for all it's worth. Thankfully, that isn't all that Fiat is doing with this new Tipo. The first version, launched in 1988, was built in the same famously boxy groove as the original Panda and Juno, and while it was well received, and even fondly recalled, there's no homage paid in the shape of the latest model. Rather, it is its predecessor's once renowned packaging to which Fiat is paying tribute, with class-leading legroom and boot space claimed for this rather more curvy new Tipo. There are other connections. The 1980s version was a global car too, eventually produced in Turkey by the same Tofaş manufacturing firm that Turin will have built its namesake. The first Tipo also featured the Type 2 platform, an early example of the sort of modular front-drive architecture that now dominates the industry. The General Motors Fiat small platform that underpins the 21st century variant is unrelated but not dissimilar in many ways. Fiat has been using it to underpin a range of models since 2005. All of which will be considered incidental for most buyers of the new Tipo. From Fiat's perspective, the ideal association with the past would be a repeat of the first Tipo's sales popularity. In 1988, its design was cutting-edge compared with the leaden Vauxhall Astra and Ford Escort it was up against. And as well as finding early favor with buyers, the Tipo won the European Car of the Year award a year later. Fiat Sport would turn handsprings if this new assault on the C segment proved to be even half as worthy. We're testing the hatch. There's an estate, too, in range-topping lounge format with a 1.6-liter multijet diesel engine, starting at £17,995. The Tipo destined for the UK is actually the second model to result from something called Project Aegea, a Fiat Chrysler/Tofaş initiative intended to produce an affordable family saloon hatchback in the state for Europe, the Middle East and Africa. The three-box saloon, known as the Fiat Aegea in Turkey, was unveiled at the Istanbul Motor Show last year and replaced the Fiat Linea, itself a car co-developed with Tofaş. The two-box hatchback and estate are to be produced primarily for France, Italy and the UK and in all markets will succeed the Bravo, a model Fiat quietly deleted in 2014. The Tipo gets the high-strength steel architecture co-engineered with GM that, in different configurations, has so far underpinned everything from the Grand Punto to the Jeep Renegade. Deploying the so-called small wide LWB version of that modular platform, the Turin-pinned Tipo is most closely related to the Fiat 500 liters, although its wheelbase is marginally longer. Unsurprisingly, the conventional platform gets an equally conventional suspension setup, featuring McPherson struts at the front and a rear torsion beam, while a fairly unremarkable 1,295 kg claimed curb weight was rendered plausible on our scales, with our test car weighing in at 1,379 kg full of fuel. The engine lineup is familiar, too. The 5 options are divided into 3 petrol and 2 diesel, a 94 bhp 1.4-liter petrol, a 118 bhp 1.4-liter T-Jet turbo petrol and a 108 bhp 1.6-liter e-torque petrol twinned exclusively with a 6-speed torque converter automatic gearbox. The oil burners are a 94 bhp 1.3-liter Multijet 2 and the larger 1.6-liter variant tested here. The range-topping 4-cylinder diesel, already featured in the 500 liters, develops 118 bhp and 236 pounds-foot, the latter available from 1,750 revolutions per minute. A 6-speed manual gearbox is standard, but as an option the engine can be had with Fiat's new DCT dual-clutch automatic. Both variants deliver sub-100 grams/km CO2 emissions. On to better news. The Tipo's most convincing strength is delivered in an area where Fiat has a history of innovation, with its diesel engine. It remains to be seen how much uptake there will be for the pricier of the two diesel options in a model range defined so squarely by value for money. Those who are willing to spend the kind of cash that might otherwise have bought a full-sized economy-minded diesel hatchback from Ford, Vauxhall, Seat or Hyundai, however, should find the 1.6-liter multijet diesel on the Tipo broadly to their liking. The motor is a bit peaky in the way it serves up its lump of turbo-induced torque, suffering with some lag at low revs, followed by a slightly abrupt rush of boost that the car's accelerator pedal mapping could make easier to manage. But the problem is also partly caused by the engine's healthy 236 pounds-foot, which is a fair amount more than that produced by most downsized oil burners. That advantage manifested itself in the performance figures we recorded. A typical 1.5 or 1.6-liter diesel needs about 11 seconds to accelerate from 30 to 70 miles per hour through the gears and between 13 and 14 seconds to do the same sprint locked in fourth gear. The Tipo managed both in less than 10 seconds. Unusually short gearing also contributes to the car's assertive performance. There's a longer-legged economy version powered by the same engine in other markets, but it isn't offered in the UK. Even for a 6-speed manual, you're therefore obliged to do more cog swapping than you might do elsewhere if you want to maintain that frothy pace, which would be better news if the shift quality weren't so rubbery. Rush a gear change through, as you must when doing benchmark acceleration testing, for example, and the gearbox begins to feel unpleasantly notchy and mechanically harsh at times. The multijet engine revs as all of its silk tends to, with useful force up to a point but increasing breathlessness and noise above 4,000 revolutions per minute. But at medium cruising revs it's decently hushed, contributing to a quieter cabin at 50 miles per hour than plenty of more expensive hatchbacks we could mention. It's decently economical, too, as we'll get to shortly.